Hi officers, yesterday I asked two questions from prelims 2021 and both of them were related to history. The first question read, with reference to Madnapalle of Andhra Pradesh, which one of the following statements is correct? The first statement read, Pingali Venkaiah designed the tricolor Indian national flag here. The second one was, Pattabhi Sitaramaiah led the Quit India movement of Andhra region from here. Then Rabindranath Tagore translated the national anthem from Bengali to English here. And the last one was Madam Blavatsky and Colonel Olcott set up headquarters of the Theosophical Society first here. Now guys, this is a category of questions where the question statement is asking you something that is completely unknown, completely random. It is not given in your books. Now, if this thing is not given in your books, the options have to contain something which you can relate with. So the first lesson is history questions will not contain, or any question for that matter, will not contain things which the question statement also is completely unknown and the options also are completely unknown. If the options are completely unknown, then at least they will be framed in such a way that you can process the options. For example, the natural mosquito repellent question was there in 2021. The options might be unknown, lemongrass, elephant grass, nut grass, etc. The options might be unknown, but Congress grass was also there. So, but they will be framed in such a way scientific names will not be used. That is what I want to say. They'll be framed in understandable, processable way, right? So either the question statement must carry something which you can relate with, or the options must carry something which you can relate with. It will not happen that the question statement also is completely factual and completely unprocessable, unknown, and so is the option. So are the options. That situation is not going to happen. Now, when we are talking about history and if it is something that is completely unknown that is asked, and in the options we have things which we can relate to. All of the options they are given in our standard books. These names are mentioned in our standard books. So we are familiar with these names. So the most important option after filtering, after using the criteria set by the question, defined by the question, we have to filter the options, and after filtering the options, whatever is left out of those, the most important, the most popular will be more likely the answer to that question, right? So the approach is, firstly you identify whatever filters are set by the question, then you use the filter to go through the options, and then some options will be eliminated by that filter. Whatever are left, the options which are meeting the requirements set by the question, amongst the options which meet the requirements, the more popular one will be the most likely be the answer to that question. Now, in this question, there is no filter. In the next one, that is the songs from prison, there are filters. We'll discuss about those also. But in this particular question, there is no filter. It just gives you the name Madnapalli and it gives you the state, in which state it is, right? So if something is happening in a southern state of India, or northern state, or eastern state, or western state, it is more likely that somebody from that region, from that state only will do that. That is more likely. That is what we expect, right? Because the population is like that, and whatever important things are happening, if you're talking about Bengal, then Bengalis will most likely be doing those important things. So the task has to be important. The one thing is, the task has to be important enough to be asked in exam, and secondly, the personality has to be important, right? Personality also has to be important. Now, in the options here, come to the delta option. Neither the personalities are important nor the task. Headquarters of Theosophical Society first, where was the headquarters established the first time, is historically insignificant, and also compared to the other three options, this is the weakest option. So neither the task is important nor the personalities are important, so we can eliminate delta option. Clear, right? Now A, B and C are left, and if you see, A and B are both South Indian names and both are doing very important tasks. One is designing the tricolor, another is leading the Quit India movement. Both of these are very, very important tasks and both are important personalities. Now, there is no way we can pick between these two. We do not have any rational logic, any rational reason to pick between these two. If we have the knowledge, then we may. Of course, if the knowledge is there, then this question itself, this whole issue of explaining the question through elimination will not arise, because it will be given in your standard books. You can only know the things which are there in your standard books. If it is not in your standard books, knowledge is out of question. And if knowledge is out of question, we are talking about Andhra Pradesh, probably the place will be in news because of something done by some Andhra person or some South Indian person there. So both of these, Alpha and Bravo, are South Indians. Both of them have done important things. There is no reason, no valid reason we can pick one and leave the other. So we can say that both of them fall in the same category. Either both will be correct or both will be incorrect. So that logic we can apply. We can remove both. And if we see Charlie, Rabindranath Tagore is more popular than the above two. In fact, it is the most popular of all the names given here. And also the task that Rabindranath has done, translating national anthem from Bengali to English, this also is an important task. It has got historical relevance. So going by this approach, option Charlie will be the most likely answer to this question. The second question read, who among the following is associated with Songs from Prison, a translation of ancient Indian religious lyrics in English? Again, a similar kind of question, something unknown has been asked. This is unknown, and the personalities given are important. I told you, like, if the question is giving you something unknown, the personalities have to be known to you, or whatever the task, etc. Whatever is in the options, that must make sense to you. So how to answer this question? Let us see. And questions on books, pamphlets, magazines, etc. Have been regularly asked by prelims, so this can be said to be a repeat question also from that angle. So just see the name of this work, Songs from Prison, right? So the first word, songs, means it is written in lyrical format, songs format. So probably the person who has written it will be a poet kind of person, right? An artistic kind of person. Prison, that person will have gone to jail long enough to write poetry, to write songs, right? This kind of thing has to be there. Then it's a translation. That means that person will know both languages, the Indian language and English, both languages. This is what we can decipher. And also it is translating what? Religious lyrics. So that person has to be religious also. That person has to be religious also. Now, if we come to the options, look at Jawaharlal Nehru. He was a hardcore communist. In our books, nowhere it is mentioned or given any hint that he was a religious person. So from our standard knowledge, we can eliminate Bravo. Come to Delta option, Sarojini Naidu. Sarojini Naidu was a female political leader. She was amongst the tallest political leaders of the country in those times. And we are talking about colonial era period. Women were subjugated to a lot of restrictions. They were not allowed to go out of the homes, and a lot of religious malpractices, so to say, were there. If a woman is rising to such a high political stature, she will most likely not be religious, because if she were religious, then she would not even step out of her house, let alone rise to a political stature, right? That amongst the tallest political stature. So she will most likely not be religious. We can eliminate this name also from the list. Now, Tilak and Gandhi, both of them meet all the requirements of this question. This is what I told in the previous question. You first identify the filter established by the question, use the filter in processing the options, and whatever options are left after filtering the total options, then the more popular one will be the answer. Amongst Tilak and Gandhi, Gandhi is more popular, so this is a higher likelihood of being the answer. This is one way. The other way is, one more thing we can do. It is a translation in English. It is a translation in English. That means it is a book written for English-speaking audience, right? It could be Indians, it could be Britishers also. Not just in India, this book will be sold. Maybe in Britain also it is sold. And if it is an English-speaking audience, will this audience prefer to read an extremist or a moderate? Most likely a moderate, right? And between Gandhi and Tilak, Gandhi was moderate. So from that angle also, C has to be the more likely answer. So that will be all in today's video.